Hi, I'm Ray Suhy. I teach on Lessonface.com, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips to improve your alternate picking. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our pick angle to the string. This is really important. A lot of people I see at first, they're picking, and don't get me wrong, there's a million ways to do things on guitar, and you can end up with really great results either way. These are just the ways that worked for me when I was learning how to alternate pick a little faster. So what I mean by angle to the string is if you hold your pick just flat, like this, and place it on the string, okay? Now, a lot of people pick like this. You're just picking right through the string. Now, when you alternate pick like this, you get a lot of resistance. It's possible to get fast there, but you get stuck quite a bit. Now, if you just turn your pick to the floor a little bit, sort of like this, turn your whole hand clockwise. Now for me, another way I get this angle on the pick, as you can see the joint of my thumb right here, this knuckle, it's going to curve a little bit, okay? And that gets my angle closer to about 45 degrees or so. Some people go really extreme with this and get a really steep angle. Now, one thing I also want to point out is that I do clockwise to the string, and that works for me. But there's a lot of guys that do the opposite and go counterclockwise, and they'll hold the pick like this, almost, so their thumb would be bent back. Both ways are excellent. You know, guys like Sean Lane and George Benson did this, and guys like Paul Gilbert and John McLaughlin do this. You gotta experiment with what feels right for your hand. It's super important. We all have different physiology, so try both of these out, and just start by just tremolo picking a string. A simple exercise I can give you that really helped me out. So about 5 years ago, I had to change my picking grip. I used to hold the pick like this, with 2 fingers, first and second finger, and my thumb. And again, like I said, I held it with, you know, the pick was attacking the strings very flat. And I got pretty quick at this, but I didn't really get to where I wanted to get. So, you know, I changed my grip over to using the side of my first finger, and pop the pick down like this, and then put my thumb over it. And that gives me more control with the thumb here, so I can change the angle of the pick on the fly. So there's flat. If I just bend my knuckle of my thumb like this, I get that more closer to 45-degree angle. That really helps. Again, try this with just tremolo picking a string. And you'll notice there's a lot less resistance from your pick to the string. And then you'll get closer to that speed that you want to achieve. Now the other thing about this is don't hold the pick too tight. A lot of guys at first hold the pick way too hard. And get a lot of resistance that way. When you're playing fast, try to hold it as loose as possible. A great exercise that really helped me when I was changing my pick grip and learning how to get more of an angle on there is just to do this 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise that we all know and have probably done before. In case you haven't done that, let me explain it really quick. Basically, you're going to use your first finger on the first fret, second on the second, third on the third, fourth on the fourth fret. And you can go up every string like that. Okay? Now, what we're going to do to kind of help with the picking is pick each of those notes 8 times. You can do that until you get to the top, right? So you're going to... Now that really helped me solidify my new grip and also helped me solidify the angle, okay? All right, so experiment with that. Try different angles out and see which one works best for you. Okay, another thing that goes hand in hand with this is keeping a strumming feeling going in your right hand. What I mean by that is we're playing chords. My wrist is kind of loose, you know, my right hand's going non-stop. When I'm alternate picking, it feels just like that, except it's just a smaller movement. I still have that really loose feeling in my wrist. You know, a lot of guys when they go to alternate pick at first, they'll tighten up the wrist and keep really tight. And they just kind of tense up and they won't ever get that speed that they want after a while. But if you stay nice and loose, you'll achieve that quicker if you keep that right hand loose and just feel like you're strumming. Now, another reason that strumming feeling is important is when we're learning how to cross strings. This is super important, and this will be on the tab that will be on the Lessonface site. I'm going to show you an exercise here. Basically, it's just simple crossing. What we're going to do is 9 on the D string, 10 on the D string, 12 on the D string, and 9 on the G. The picking is going to be down, up, down, up. So what we're going to do is just going to go back and forth. Now a lot of guys when they first try this, they'll go to that G string with a down pick. And they end up doing some double picks here. You never really get that flow going. Now the reason why they do this is because they're not doing that strumming kind of free kind of motion with their wrists. They're moving really small. Now right now they're kind of stuck and they have to hit the G string with a down. If you do this kind of strumming motion, keep that going, that feeling going while you play this exercise, and exaggerate the right hand. Then you're ready for the up pick there. So try that, exaggerate the movement in the right hand. You can always minimize that movement later. But just get the feeling going of that alternate picking and crossing strings with the up pick. Now I'm going to bring it in more. Yeah, and by doing that strumming, keeping that feeling going in the right hand, it's going to stop me from doing that down pick when I cross. Alright, so the next tip I can give you, or just general rule about alternate picking, is that we need to anchor our right hand somehow. There's many ways to do this. Again, it's all depending on your physiology. Some people have larger hands than others, their fingers are longer, so there's a bunch of different ways we can anchor and take advantage of that. So for me personally, I anchor a few ways. One is with the side of my hand, of my palm on the low strings, just past the bridge, or sometimes even on the bridge. Okay, so it's sort of in a palm muted position. So when I'm going to chug like a low E string, that's the kind of position I keep my right hand in when I'm playing. When I'm doing alternate picking runs. I'm anchoring there. Now, I'm also anchoring a little bit with my pinky. When I'm doing higher runs. When I'm doing higher string runs, most of the time it's just my side of my hand. I'm doing kind of runs in the middle. These fingers are kind of curling and touching the strings or touching the body of the guitar. Now that's how I personally do it. A lot of guys like Michelangelo Badio and Jason Becker, they'll anchor with their right hand fingers on the body of the guitar. And they'll keep them planted there. I should say the reason for anchoring is to give your pick kind of a reference point, a 0 point to keep going back to. If you try to play all this stuff with your hand floating in the air, it's really tough. It's not impossible, but you don't get that, you're not able to mute the strings properly either, when you do this. You're gonna get a lot of noise. It's just experiment. Try it with your fingers here, try it with the side of your palm here. Your forearm can be on the guitar. Some guys anchor their palm on the body or on the pickup like this, but just make sure you have some kind of anchor down when you're playing these exercises. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about has to do with the angle of your right hand in general when we're picking. What I mean by that is, if I place my hand flat on the strings like this, and pick a note, that's kind of a neutral position. When we're alternate picking, it really helps if we kind of, for certain runs, if we tilt our hand either A towards the floor or B up a little bit, okay? So we're tilting down or tilting up. I have to give credit where credit is due here. Troy Grady and the Cracking the Code series online really helped me with this and really brought this to my attention. Check that stuff out if you can. So basically, you know, certain runs are going to be easier if we tilt this way or we tilt this way. Let's talk about this exercise. This is kind of a Paul Gilbert type of thing. What we're going to do is start on the D string, the note B, 9th fret. Play 9, 10, 12. Go to 9, 10, 12 on the G. Repeat that string. Play 10, 12, 13 on the B. Repeat that string. Play 10, 12, 13 on the high E. Then we'll land on 12 on the high E. And do that slow all together. One more time. Now, this exercise is really good because it focuses on crossing strings with an up pick, and that's one of the hardest things at first. Like I said earlier in this video, if you keep that strumming feeling going and really exaggerate the right hand and accent those up picks actually when you cross strings, this will really help you. Now, back to the slant. If I hold my hand down this way, or I tilt it this way, and I try that exercise, can't do it. If I tilt my hand up this way, the reason for that is if you tilt your hand up this way, when you do a down pick and then you cross to the next string with an up, your pick is in the air over the strings, ready to hit that up on the next string. If I hold a down angle, down's kind of slant here. See, that down pick puts me right onto the G string, and I have no choice but to either go through that string or pick it with a down. So keep your hand tilted back like this while you're playing this exercise. So yeah, experiment. Different kind of runs will have, you know, benefits. Either you're kind of tilting back or slanting forward. There's some runs that are going to have both, like this. What I want you to watch is my right hand, how it's kind of going like this, back and forth. So what's happening there, I'm doing down, up. I have to tilt down to cross strings here. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, tilt back, up, down. Yeah, so if you're ever playing a run and you're getting stuck, the pick's getting stuck in the strings, or you're doing a couple downs in a row or a couple ups in a row, experiment with tilting your hand either way, and that should get you through. Okay, for the final tip, this is going to be some kind of really essential picking exercises you can do to practice crossing strings with an up pick. Simply one, we're just going to do some triad work, okay? Let's do an E minor triad up on the 17th fret of the B string. That's 17 on the B with your middle finger, then you go to 15 on the high E with your first, and 19 on the high E with your pinky. Now, it's an E minor triad. What we're going to do here, we're going to go down on the B, up on the high E, down on the high E. Okay, so down, up, down, pull off, and then we're going to start the whole thing all over again. I should say, when you're playing an exercise with a pull-off, the pull-off usually takes the place of a pick. Okay? If we were to pick all these notes, it would be down, up, down, up, down. The pull-off is taking the place of that up there. So instead of down, up, it's going to be down, up, down, pull-off, down. Okay? Do these slowly at first with the metronome. This is 16th notes, so there's going to be 4 notes per beat. So it'd be... One final tip on that, really snap that downstroke that's on the pinky. That really helps. Try these all over the fretboard. Now, Once you get that down, let's try this in like a pentatonic area. So let's do E minor pentatonic. You can play 14 on the G and 12 and 15 on the B. Same picking, same everything. Down, up, down, pull off. Try that everywhere in the pentatonic scale. You can go to the B string, do 15 here on the B, 12 on the E, and 15 on the high E. That will really enforce that crossing of the up pick there. And then just try to experiment all over the fretboard with that and kind of make up your own runs. You can do something I just did there. All right, so I did this exercise 3 times. And then pull off 14 to 12, hit 14 on the D. All right, another exercise that really helped me out as well is this one here. What that is a 9, 10, 12 on the D string, B, C, and D, and then you're gonna have E and F, 9 and 10 on the G string. What we're gonna do is we're gonna down pick 9, up, down on 12, up on 9, pick 10 on the G, pull off to 9, and then back down. Down, up, down, pull off, down, up, down. Okay, same thing here. You want to keep your hand tilted back a little bit. See, that keeps my pick up in the air when I'm crossing. If my hand was angled down, see, I'm falling into the strings there. And I couldn't play it. My hand gets stuck and it just sounds horrible. But if I tilt back, now try that in every possible kind of 3-note per string position that you have. You know, you could try it here, 10, 12, and 13 on the B and 10 and 12 on the E. Try it on 13, 15, 17. As high as you want to go, you know, 17, 18, 20, 17, 19. Try it all over the fretboard. So the final exercise I'm going to give you, again, really focuses on that crossing of the strings of an up pick. And this is playing a major scale in thirds. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a major scale here, starting on G on the A string. We're going to have G, A, that's 10 to 12. And then B, C, D on the D string, that's 9, 10, 12. And then 9, 10, 9, 11, 12 on the G, that's E, F sharp, and G. If we keep going and play that in 2 octaves, it's going to be like this. (10, 12, 13), 10, 12, 14. And there's your G there on 15 on the high E. But we're just going to focus on 1 octave of this for today. So this is going to be thirds. Let me show you what I mean by that. In thirds, you play every other note. So you start on G, skip A, and play B. Play A, skip B, and play C. And so forth. So let me show you the exercise. Picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, palm mute this. Really focus on keeping that kind of strumming, loose feeling going. That was really helpful for me. You can do this descending as well, and I'll include that in the tab on the Lessonface site. So again, try all these exercises out. Do them very slow with a metronome. you know. All those guys, both of those exercises will be in 16th notes, and then this one will be in sextuplets. And all those will get your right hand ripping. All right, thanks for checking out this video. I'm Ray Suhy. Check out my profile on Lessonface.com, and take care.